I poisoned the mashed potatoes that night, not with arsenic, but with the truth I'd buried for 15 years. Served up cold and irreversible while my family shoveled it down like it was Thanksgiving grace. My sister Claire's eyes widened across the table as I laid it out, how she'd framed me for embezzling from Dad's construction firm back in '09. The money she'd blown on coke and that sleazy lawyer boyfriend who'd ghosted her pregnant ass. And when Mom gasped, fork clattering to her plate, I didn't stop. I told them how I'd done the full 3 years in county for her, whispering family first to myself in that freezing cell, all while she played the golden child, popping out kids like confetti at a parade nobody invited me to. The dining room in our old colonial in Bethesda, Maryland, same one we'd grown up in, with its faded wallpaper peeling like old skin, felt like a pressure cooker about to blow. Rain hammered the roof like God's own indictment, and the kids, Claire's 3 little monsters aged 6, 8, and 10, froze mid-bite, their gap-toothed stares bouncing between us like ping-pong balls in a blender. Tommy, the oldest, dropped his spoon, milk dribbling down his chin, and whispered, "Aunt Em, are you a bad guy now?" I wanted to laugh, but it came out as a choke, because hell yeah, kid, I was the villain in their fairy tale, but only because I'd let Claire write the script. It started unraveling right there, with Dad's face turning the color of overcooked brisket. "Amelia, what the hell is this?" he barked, his voice gravel from 40 years of yelling at subcontractors. Mom clutched her pearls, literal pearls, the ones Grandma left her, like they could ward off the apocalypse. "Claire?" She just smirked at first. That trademark half-curl of her lip, the one that said she owned the room because she was pretty and fertile and had a husband who at least stuck around long enough to sign the checks. "You're delusional, Em," she drawled, sipping her Chardonnay like it was holy water. "That was ancient history. You got what you deserved, sloppy accounting, right? Or was it the pills they found in your locker?" "Pills." "Yeah. She'd planted those too. Oxy from Dad's psych medicine cabinet, right next to the falsified ledgers she'd photoshopped on her lunch break at the real estate office." I'd confess to it all, eyes dry as the judge's gavel fell, because Mom had begged me on her knees in the station. "Claire's got the baby coming.
Eminencia."
Don't ruin us."
Us.
Like I wasn't blood. Like my life, fresh out of community college, dreaming of graphic design gigs in DC, wasn't the sacrificial lamb on their altar of appearances. So I swallowed it, did the time, emerged 25 and tattooed with regrets, piecing together freelance logos for podunk startups while Claire's Instagram bloomed with minivan milestones and "Blessed Mama" captions. But that dinner? It was supposed to be a truce. Or so they thought. Claire's husband, Rick, the bland accountant type with a golf handicap and a beer gut, had bailed 6 months back, citing irreconcilable differences after she maxed out their Amex on Botox and beach bakis. Now she was couch surfing at the folks, her empire of essential oils MLM tanking harder than the '08 crash. And me, I'd clawed my way to stability, a 1-bedroom in Silver Spring, clients lining up for my branding work, even a cat named Shadow who didn't judge. I'd shown up with a bottle of Cab and a forced smile, ready to play nice for the kids' sake. Tommy's soccer games, Lily's ballet recitals, Little Max's finger-painting masterpieces, they were the one pure thing in this toxic stew. Until Mom leaned in, her voice syrupy with that passive-aggressive lilt she'd perfected on PDA bake sales. "Amelia, honey, we've been talking. Claire needs a fresh start, maybe back in Philly with her old sorority girls. And those darlings," she nodded at the kids, who were now whispering about cartoon villains. They need stability. Your place is perfect, cozy, close to schools. You'd be such a godsend. Dad grunted approval, carving into his turkey like it owed him money. It's temporary.
Eminência.
Just till Claire gets on her feet. Family helps family, Claire chimed in, eyes glassy from the wine. Please,
Sis,
for old time's sake, you owe me, us. Owe her? The word hit like a sucker punch to the solar plexus. That's when the poison spilled. Not just the embezzlement, but the rest, how she'd slept with my high school boyfriend the week before prom. Then spread rumors I was frigid to cover her tracks. How she'd borrowed my identity for that credit card spree in college, tanking my score for a decade. And the kicker, the real gut punch secret I'd unearthed last month while digitizing Dad's old files for a favor. Claire hadn't just framed me. She'd skimmed enough to fund an abortion she never told anyone about. Back when she was 17 and Dad's little miracle after Mom's string of miscarriages. She'd paid off the clinic with company cash, then pinned the shortfall on me when the auditors came sniffing. The table went nuclear. Forks down. Voices up. Dad roaring about slander. Mom sobbing into her napkin. Claire hissing, "You bitch. You'll regret this." The kids started wailing. A chorus of confusion that drowned out the storm outside. I stood, chair scraping like nails on a chalkboard, and met Claire's glare head-on. Regret? I've been regretting you since the day you stole my shadow.
Claire. But tonight? Tonight.
I'm done carrying your ghosts. I didn't storm out.
Not yet.
I walked to the sideboard, grabbed the keys to Dad's old Ford pickup, the one he'd promised me before the fall, and jingled them like a death knell. Tell you what. I'll take the kids. But not to my place. We're going on a road trip. Uncle Sam's Heartland tour. You can come get em when you've got your shit together, or when you admit what you did. Claire laughed. A brittle, Chardonnay-fueled cackle. You wouldn't dare. Social services would eat you alive.
Ex-con.
Try me, I said. And that's when I vanished. Not with the kids, not yet. But with the truck. And with the USB drive I'd slipped into my pocket earlier that week. Every email. Every forged signature. Every bank statement proving her crimes. As I peeled out of the driveway, taillights bleeding red into the rain-slicked street, I glanced in the rearview. The house lights flickered like a bad omen, silhouettes arguing in the glow. Bethesda faded to blacktop. And for the first time in years, my hands didn't shake on the wheel. The first stop was a Wawa in Rockville. Fluorescent hell under buzzing bulbs, where I chugged a Red Bull and plotted. Vanish? Hell. I was rewriting the map. Claire thought she knew betrayal? She'd invented it. But me? I was about to turn it into an art form. I fired at my laptop in the parking lot, rain drumming the roof like impatient fingers, and uploaded the files to a burner cloud account. Not public, not yet. Leverage first. A quick text to my lawyer buddy from the joint, a pro bono shark named Lena. Got dirt on sis. Need airtight custody angle. Call me. By dawn, I was crossing the Mason-Dixon, the kids' faces haunting me from the glovebox photo I'd swiped. Tommy's freckles, Lily's braids, Max's thumbsucker's grin. They weren't pawns. They were the collateral I'd never let her touch again. Claire's text blew up my phone. WTFM? Come back now. Then Mom. This is cruel. Darling. Think of the children. Dad. You're dead to me. I powered it off, tossed it into a Delaware ditch at mile marker 42, and bought a track phone with cash. New number. New game. Pittsburgh welcomed me with steel gray skies and a motel off I-76 that smelled like stale smokes and regret. I holed up in room 13, Irony's favorite hideout, nursing black coffee and sketching escape routes on a napkin. The plan crystallized: drive west to the Badlands. Hole up in a cabin I'd rented under a fake name via Craigslist. Teach the kids survival skills. Real ones, not Claire's performative Pinterest crap. Fishing in the Platte. Stargazing without light pollution. Stories around a fire about women who rose from ashes. But first, the shake-up. I emailed Claire a teaser, one scanned ledger, time-stamped with her initials. Confess, or the world sees mommy dearest tab. Her reply was instant. A voice note laced with venom. You think you're the hero here? Those kids hate you already. And Dad? He'll disown you for good. Hate me? Maybe. But better a hating aunt with a backbone than a mother who'd sell her soul for a Birkin. I deleted it, heart pounding like a bass drum in a dive bar brawl. This was revenge. American style, not with guns or graves, but with the slow burn of exposure. The kind that leaves reputations rotting from the inside out. 2 days in, the feds knocked. No.
Kidding.
It was Lena, pulling up in her Prius with takeout hoagies and a stack of legalese. Custody's tricky with your record, she said, unwrapping a cheesesteak. But abandonment's your ace. Claire's got priors now, financial fraud if we push. File for emergency guardianship in South Dakota. It's gun-shy on interstate BS. We mapped it out over grease-slicked napkins, affidavits from neighbors who'd seen Claire's meltdowns, psych evals for the kids post-Rick. By midnight, petitions were e-filed. My signature digitized under Amelia Hart, guardian ad litem. That's when the twist gnawed at me. What if I wasn't saving them? What if vanishing made me the monster? Dragging innocence into my vendetta? Tommy's soccer cleats in the truck bed mocked me. But Claire's face, that smirk, pushed back the doubt. She'd flipped the script on me once.
My turn to rewrite.
The Badlands hit like a fever dream, eroded spires clawing at a sky bruised purple by twilight, the kind of landscape that makes you feel small and spiteful all at once. I'd picked up the kids en route, snatched them from school under the guise of Aunt M's surprise adventure, their backpacks slung with juice boxes and confusion. Lily clutched her stuffed unicorn like a lifeline, whispering, "Is Mommy mad at us?" I knelt in the gravel lot of their Bethesda elementary, wind whipping my jacket, and lied smooth as a car salesman. Nah.
Kiddo.
Mommy's just busy being a rock star. We're gonna be two, cowboy style. Tommy eyed me skeptical, but Max high-fived, oblivious. By sundown, we were 1,500 miles west, the Ford groaning up the gravel drive to a sagging cabin off Highway 44, rented from a laconic rancher named Earl, who didn't ask for ID.
Inside.
It smelled of pine sap and mouse droppings. A potbelly stove, my new best friend against the prairie chill. The kids explored while I bolted the door. Phone on airplane mode. Paranoia, my constant companion. That night, overcanned chili heated on the burner. I spun yarns, not the sanitized Claire versions, but raw Americana. Outlaws like Belle Starr. Women who bucked the system with six-shooters and smarts. Lily's eyes lit up. Tommy grilled me on details like a mini detective. Did she get revenge? He asked. Spoon paused midair. I smiled grim. Damn right she did. Slow and smart. But revenge? It was fermenting.
All right.
Back east. The shakeup was biblical. I'd timed the drop. Anonymous tips to the Post's investigative desk. The skimmed file seated on a dark web forum frequented by white-collar watchdogs. By day 3, headlines screamed from my burner laptop. Bethesda businessman's daughter accused of decade-old fraud. Family implodes. Claire's face. Botox frozen in shock. Plastered beside grainy mugshots of me from the county days. Mom's Facebook, hacked via a forgotten password, erupted in prayer hands and thoughts and prayers, her book club turning on her like piranhas. Dad's firm, audits incoming. Clients bolting like rats from a sinking barge. Claire's voicemails piled up on the disposable SIM. First rage. You psychotic whore. I'll bury you. Then wheedling.
Please.
The kids. This is destroying us.
Us.
There it was again. I played them for the cabin walls. Volume low, so the little ones wouldn't hear. Each syllable a validation. But doubt crept in like Black Hills fog. Was I any better? Yanking stability from under those kids? Lily's nightmare started that week. Screams of "Mommy's gone," echoing off the logs. I'd rock her, humming old Dylan tunes. But inside, the guilt gnawed. This wasn't just payback, it was a war. And civilians were catching shrapnel. Enter the antagonist's countermove. Because Claire never played fair. A week in, Earl banged on the door at dawn. His Stetson tipped low. Eyes like chipped flint. Got a call from back east, he drawled, spitting tobacco juice into the dust. Fancy lady says you're kidnapping her brats. Cops en route from Rapid City. My stomach dropped faster than a bad stock tip.
How?
I'd covered tracks, paid cash. No plates run. But Claire, she was a fox in a henhouse. Always 3 steps sly. She'd geofenced my old phone's last ping. Sweet-talked a cousin on the force. Spun the yarn of desperate sister on a bender. I bundled the kids into the truck, hearts hammering, and floored it toward the interstate. Badlands blurring to brown streaks. Road trip extension. I yelled over the engine's roar, forcing cheer. Tommy caught on quick. Are we in trouble? I gripped the wheel till knuckles whitened. Only if we let him catch us.
Champ.
Ever heard of Bonnie and Clyde? They nodded. Wide-eyed, Lily clutching her unicorn tighter. Max giggling at the chase. But as sirens wailed distant in the rearview, reality bit. This was no game. Cops? With my record. It'd be federal time. Kids remanded to Claire's Viper Nest. We ditched the Ford in a wall drug lot. Ironic. Tourist trap of all places, and hot-wired Earl's spare ATV from the barn. A rusty beast that belched smoke, but hauled ass over dunes. By nightfall, we washed up in a Sioux Falls truck stop. Aliases scribbled on fake IDs. Lena overnight via a P.O. box drop. Posing as traveling artists, we blended. Me sketching portraits for tips. Kids hawking Badlands treasures, painted rocks and wildflower bouquets to sunburned families. It bought time, but the stress etched lines around my eyes. Sleep fractured by dreams of Claire's smirk morphing into courtroom gavels. Lena's updates were grim. Claire countersuing for defamation. Painting me as the unhinged felon aunt. Dad had lawyered up. Stonewalling the fraud probe with family dispute spin. Mom? Radio silence. Her betrayal a quiet knife twist. But the kids, they were my anchor. Tommy started calling me Captain M, plotting escape strategies with sticks and string. Lily drew pictures of us as superheroes. Capes billowing in wind-swept prairies. Max? He just wanted us mores. In those stolen sunsets. with bison silhouetted on the horizon like ancient guardians. I glimpsed redemption. Not for me, for them. Claire had birthed them. Sure. But I'd raise them right. Tough. Truthful. Unafraid. The polarization hit peak when the media frenzy crested. Pundits on Fox and MSNBC duked it out. Is Amelia Hart a vigilante mom or a vengeful felon? Hashtags trended, Save the Kids versus Justice for Claire, splitting the nation down red-blue fault lines. Evangelical blogs decried my satanic grudge, while feminist pods hailed the sisterhood reckoning. I watched from a library terminal in Deadwood, incognito in a ball cap, heart swelling with dark pride. Controversial?
Check.
Shaking the family tree till rotten branches snapped? Double check. But Claire flipped again. Her moxie, a chameleon. A leaked video surfaced her on local news. Tears streaming. Voice cracking. My sister's always been jealous. She confessed to the theft. I took her in after prison. Now she's stolen my babies to hurt me. Oscar bait.
Pure.
Polls swung. Donations poured into her GoFundMe for the children. I seethed, pounding the keyboard till a librarian shushed me. Jealous? Of her hollow life?
Nah.
But the doubt amplified. Was I the abuser now? Dragging them through dust and deception? Climax brewed in a Billings motel. Thunder rumbling like artillery over the Rockies. Lena called. Claire's got a warrant. Border patrols alerted. Your best play? Turn yourself in. Leverage the files for a deal. Custody hearing in 2 weeks. Play the hero. Hero. The word tasted like ash. I paced the threadbare carpet. Kids asleep in the queen bed. Their breaths a fragile rhythm. Surrender meant losing them to her web. Fight meant fugitive forever. Decisions controversial as hell. Do I torch the empire or fade to black? That's when the burner buzzed. An unknown number. Claire's voice. Stripped bare. It's me. Truce? Meet me halfway. Wyoming line. Just us. For the kids. Trap or olive branch. Her history screamed ploy. But the plea cracked something maternal in me. I agreed. Pulse thundering. Dawn broke bloody. Us piling into a borrowed Subaru. Heading into the storm's maw. The Wyoming meet was a powder keg with a lit fuse. Staged at a windswept pullout off I-80. Sagebrush whispering secrets to the tumbleweeds. I'd left the kids with Lena in a Casper safe house, heart shredded like jerky, saying goodbye. Tommy's hug of ice. Lily's come back soon. Captain, echoing as I drove solo into the abyss. Claire's rental gleamed chrome under the high desert sun, a sleek Escalade. Her perched on the hood like a queen in yoga pants and Lululemon regret. No entourage. Just her, hair wind-tossed. Makeup smudged. The golden girl cracked porcelain. I killed the engine. Boots crunching gravel as I approached. Hands empty, but fists clenched. You came, she said, sliding off the hood. Voice a mix of relief and rust. Up close. She looked hollowed, cheeks gaunt. Eyes shadowed like mine in the mirror after bad nights. Amelia.
God.
This has to stop. Stop. I barked a laugh. Bitter as burnt coffee. Like when you stopped the lies. Or when you framed me and let me rot. The wind howled, carrying echoes of our girlhood fights, dolls drowned in the creek. Secrets swapped in treehouses. But this was endgame. She flinched, hugging herself against the gusts. I was scared. Okay, Dad's business, Mom's expectations. The pregnancy. It was Rick's. But I couldn't. her voice fractured, the abortion's secret spilling unbidden. You were always the strong one. I thought you'd bounce back. Prison? It was supposed to be a slap on the wrist. A slap? I stepped closer, heat rising like a prairie fire. 3 years.
Claire. Lost job.
Lost friends. Lost me. And the kids? You dumped them on me like yesterday's trash because your perfect life's a house of cards. Tears tracked mascara rivers down her face.
I know. I'm sorry, really.
The fraud. I'll confess. Turn over everything. Just give me the babies back. I'll go to therapy. Get clean, whatever. Family therapy.
Eminência.
For us.
Us.
Again. The word dangled like bait. And for heartbeat, I wavered. Polarizing pull. Forgive the devil you know. Or burn the bridge. Her eyes pleaded, vulnerable in a way I'd never seen. Not the sorority schemer, but the scared kid sister who'd braided my hair before braces. Controversial decision loomed. Mercy or massacre. Then the twist, the one that'd spark barroom brawls and Reddit rants for months. As she reached for my arm, a glint caught my eye. Her phone, screen awake on the hood, recording app glowing red. For the record, a tinny voice sneered, hers. From earlier that day, fed to a PI buddy. If she shows, play nice till the signal. Then swarm. Tires crunched behind me. 2 unmarked SUVs materialized from the mirage. Badges flashing like bad karma. Betrayal 2.0. Claire's face morphed, smirk returning. Triumphant. Gotcha.
Sis.
Evidence of flight risk. You'll do life this time. Cops piled out. Guns holstered but hands hovering. Barking, hands up. I froze. World narrowing to her gloating grin. But I wasn't green anymore. While she'd monologued, I'd palmed her keys, subtle slight from graphic design precision work. As they cuffed me, rough polyester biting wrists, I head-butted the hood, phone shattering under my knee. Oops, I muttered, blood trickling from split lip. No tape. No trap. Chaos erupted, Claire shrieking, cops scrambling for warrants on the fly. I twisted, knee to a deputy's groin, dirty. Yeah. But survival's no etiquette class. Bolted for her Escalade. Engine roaring to life as bullets pinged fenders, warning shots. Thank Christ. Wyoming hooped into the rearview. Sirens fading as I punched it toward Cheyenne. Heart a jackhammer. The dash back to Casper was a blur of bad country radio and worse regrets. Lena met me at a dive bar on the outskirts, kids bundled in blankets, oblivious to the drama. Plan B, she said, sliding a folder over greasy formica. Inside, Claire's full confession. Coerced via the files I'd held back, the abortion payout, the identity theft, even Rick's abuse she'd covered with NDAs. She flipped on tape last night, thinking you'd cave. We had a wire. Twist squared. Claire's truce was her play for immunity, trading my head for hers. But Lena's team, pro bono vigilantes from the Innocence Project, had anticipated, baited the hook. By midnight, feds rolled Claire up in Bethesda. Headlines flipping, Golden Child's empire crumbles, sister's gambit backfires. The hearing in Sioux Falls was a circus. Protesters outside waving Free Amelia signs. Claire's allies hissing baby snatcher from the gallery. Judge, a grizzled vet with a drawl like aged bourbon, sifted the mountain of evidence. My record weighed against her rap sheet. MS. Heart, he drawled. gavel poised. You skirted the law, but blood's thicker than ink. Temporary guardianship granted to you. With conditions, counseling,
All.
cheers erupted. I sagged, Lily's arms around my neck a lifeline.
Claire?
She got probation, community service, supervised visits, enough rope to hang her pride. Dad sold the firm, retired bitter to Florida condos. Mom, she visited once. Pearl's absent, whispering, proud of you. Finally, I nodded, door closing soft behind her. Family? Fractured mosaic. But mine. We settled in Rapid City. A ranch style, off the res line. Me freelancing remote. Kids in school with Ann M as legal mom. Tommy's soccer star. Lily dances fierce. Max paints storms. Nights. We stargaze. My story's evolving. Not just outlaws, but survivors, women who vanished to rebuild. Was it happy? Tragic? You tell me. I shook the family to its roots. Exposed the rot, but lost the fairy tale. Claire writes letters from her halfway house. Working on me. I burn most. Save a few for the kids, one day.
Revenge?
It tasted sweet at first. Ash now. But those little hands in mine, that's the real score. In America, where dreams die hard and rise harder, vanishing isn't escape, it's rebirth. And if Claire ever flips again?
Well, I've got the map redrawn.
Captain M's always one step ahead.